Life really begins at 40 years old. This quote from Carl Jung reflects his deep view of the development of personality. According to Jung, up to 40 years, a person mainly lives in accordance with external factors, expectations of family, society, career, status. But after 40, the real path of self-knowledge comes. The first awakening. 40 to 45 years. At the beginning of 40, people are experiencing internal awakening. Everything that used to make sense, a career, roles, achievements, ceases to bring joy. A feeling of emptiness and questions come. Why am I doing all this? Who am I really? This is the beginning of the process of individuals on Jung. A person removes masks imposed by society and first meets his genuine I. Often this manifests itself through a crisis, a desire to change work, destroy an old relationship, and move. But the real transformation does not occur in the external, but inside, in the revaluation of values. Revaluation period, 45 to 50 years. After the first awakenings, the phase of deep analysis occurs. The person looks back. What have I achieved? What did I miss? Did I make the right elections? During this period, regrets are manifested. It was worth traveling more. I had to devote time to myself. At the same time, the awareness of the reality of aging is intensified. But this is what becomes a growth point. The search for new wisdom begins. The most important question of these years: what do I really want? A person begins to hear an inner voice and look for integrity outside of social roles. Establishment of equilibrium, 50 to 55 years. After the revaluation, the stage of finding the balance begins. The main internal conflicts gradually subside. Simplicity, inner peace, deep relationships, and not status or material things come to the fore. A person learns to choose consciously, to abandon unnecessary connections, expenses, and stress. Harmonization of the body and soul begins. Instead of a race for success, there is a desire to maintain health, silence, and intimacy with those who are really important. The deepening of wisdom, 55 to 60 years. In these years, a person sees life from a different height. The past experience turns into a source of wisdom. It is not an achievement that becomes important, but the ability to be. The spiritual search comes to the fore: philosophy, art, religion. The speed of time is realized, but it does not scare. But on the contrary, it makes every moment precious. People are more and more share their experience. Someone becomes a mentor. Someone is a writer. Someone just teaches with their example. Freedom and acceptance, 60 to 65 years old. During this period, a person gains inner freedom. The past, with all mistakes and victories, is accepted as part of the path. There is no longer the need to prove or change something. Freedom now is not external independence, but the ability to live in harmony with oneself. A person ceases to fight over his life and begins to trust its natural rhythm. Spiritual wealth, 65 to 70 years. Real maturity begins here. A person opens the value of the little things: a cup of tea, laughter of grandchildren, a conversation with loved ones. Emotions become calmer. More compassion and tolerance appear. The stage of spiritual wealth occurs when internal satisfaction is more important than any material achievements. Integration and heritage, 70+ years. At this stage, a person integrates all his life experience. Mistakes, joys, and suffering are perceived as the necessary steps that took him to those who are. Death no longer seems to be the end. It is a natural transition, part of a single stream of life. A person becomes a source of wisdom and support for others, conveying the legacy not in words, but the way of life itself. Jung said, "Life really begins at 40 years old," because it is from this age that a person first has the courage to be himself. The first awakening of 40, revaluation of 45, equilibrium of 50, wisdom of 55, freedom of 60, spiritual wealth in 65, and integration after 70 are stages through which the person reveals his true potential. Life after 40 is not a crisis, but an opportunity to really understand who you are.